I'm Dr. Joyce Knudsen, speaking to Bonafide, a musician who has been recording music since the age of 14. Welcome to the ImageMaker Incorporated Media, Bonafide.
Hey, how you doing, Dr. Joyce?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. You released your first independent self-titled album at 17. How ambitious. Tell us how this all began for you.
Well, when I was 17, I actually was a freshman in college because I got my GED, what would have been my senior year in high school. And I was around a bunch of music, making people my whole life. And just being around the college atmosphere and seeing I had a little bit of influence, I figured with music, everybody loves music. What better way to influence people?
I think that's true. We are influenced through music. You told me that you have released 4 original albums since then. How did you find the motivation to do all of this, and who, if anybody, influenced you along your way?
Well, my biggest influence would have to be Tupac. He's my favorite artist. He's basically the only artist I listen to. But the ambition and inspiration is I would just like to see my family, my immediate family, and my further away family just in a better situation than what we've been in.
I hear that from a lot of artists, and I think it's really just so great that you musicians that I've talked to anyway want to do that for their daddy or for their family or to help people get out of a bad situation. So I commend you on that. Bonafide, you are currently featured on Kelly Rowland's new album, Talk a Good Game. I read in the New York Daily News that Kelly cried in the Dirty Laundry music video. I listened to it, and I cried. How did you get connected to being featured on her new album?
Well, it's actually my producer that produced my albums for the past 10 years that makes my tracks. He produced the album on her album. It's called Love Me Till I Die. And he got on through his manager. But he's the actual, producer. He made the beat to it. And I'm just connected through him.
Okay, well, we all need those connections. I understand.
Yes.
I understand this personal ballad has received a critical acclaim. That Rowland has to set the record straight about her relationship with her quote-unquote sister, Beyonce. What's this all about?
I think it could be possibly about maybe when they were younger and she felt that her father was giving her better treatment. And that's about as far as I can think about the situation because I don't know too much about it.
Obviously, she's beautiful, like Beyonce, and
yes.
She could be a half-sister, but I don't think anyone really knows the answer to that.
Well, yes, I've heard that, too.
So rumors spread, and
yes.
they often do, years back about this half-sister thing, and nobody could confirm it. I understand you've been on the Beat in Nashville station 101.1. Tell our listeners about that.
Yes, I was featured on 101.1 The Beat. This was actually on 2009 when they played my first track. It's called Can't Do Right, featuring my daddy. And I knew the DJ once again through my college experience, but I've maintained a relationship with them since then. So every now and then when they're playing local music or music that's up and coming, I'll be featured on the local station 101.1 The Beat thanks to DJ Crisis.
Well,
one of my killers.
That's a good story because we all have other sort of angels watching us and giving us opportunities. So many people struggle in this business. Tell me about your struggles and how you overcame them.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm still struggling, but I am still trying to get my foot all the way in the door. And it's been a long process. I put out my first album when I was 17, but I started recording music when I was 14. And by me being 28, I feel like I put half my life into it. So it's been a long struggle, but I know that it's going to be a silver lining in that cloud, and that's what makes the music authentic. is the struggle I got to go through so I can influence other people or tell other people that they're not the only one going through certain situations.
Well, that's amazing in itself because even though you spent a lot of time building it, I know I've had a business for 30 years. It took a long time building it. You can't do it without relationships, and it sounds like you know how to make them. So I believe you will get your silver lining.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, you told me that there are many artists who only talk about money, cars, sex, and a lot of stuff people can't relate to. What do you represent?
We could say the struggle, but I don't like to say it in those terms. I would like to just call it real life. Like in the rap world, it's like everyone is consumed with like you said, the nice cars and the money, but everybody don't have that. People need to learn about how do you make it through times when they don't have enough money to. How do you keep your drive? How do you keep your inspiration? If you don't have this money and these cars and things, you can't look at that for inspiration. We got to learn how to look deeper in ourselves and history to get inspiration, and that should be plenty. This material is nothing because, as we all know, we can't take it with us.
Right. That's a good way of putting it. Well, I feel very strongly that that's the motivation behind a lot of people's success, having struggled, having been through sometimes hell and back, but they keep on going. And I think that you need to be commended for keeping on going. You're only 28, so there's a lot of time left in your life to keep on going. And you're not the only one. As I said, I have a book series out called Successful Failures, and I am one because everybody said I would never amount to anything, and just didn't turn out to be true because I was so motivated. I kept on going and didn't have the backing of family or friends or sort of like you. We all have struggles. I think that's what people don't realize. We all have struggles. You're not the only one with struggles, but there's a difference between people that have struggles that don't do anything about it and you. So
Correct.
I'm definitely impressed that you went on and kept on and are at this point. So at this point in time, this is unbelievable. You sold about 300,000 copies of your album. Tell us about these albums and where people can purchase them.
Well, they're online. You can, on iTunes, Bonafide. My best-selling single so far has been Can't Do Right with my pops. But I'm about to release my 5th album called Life Through Graves, The Spirit and the Flesh. And that will be featured. It'll be on iTunes too, but you could find it on right now. How would you say it? On Twitter. I'm at 615 Bonafide, and on Facebook I'm Jamal Bonafide Graves.
Okay, could you spell Bonafide for those that need to look it up and don't know how to spell it?
Yes, it's Bonafide. And I'm sorry, I wanted to touch on your book because I didn't get to read it all the way through. But someone I actually know you featured in there, Miss Ashton Jones.
Yes.
From American Idol, yes. And I just wanted to say it's crazy how we were sort of connected through her, too.
It is crazy. She's a wonderful person. I think she deserved to win American Idol because she is so giving. I'm a stranger calling her up saying, could you be in my book? Sure. What can I do to help? And I was so impressed with her for doing that. And we all know she probably came from struggles. Yes. Everybody comes from struggles. If people can just realize that and just move on, forget the past. We don't know about the future, but we do know about today. And we can do a lot of things today to make ourselves better people and to send a message like you want to send, saying you don't have to struggle your whole life. You can do it. I did. Isn't that what your message is?
Yes, that's what my message is. And also my message is that you don't have to have the most money and the nice cars to live a great life. We got to stop searching for joy in these things that really don't matter.
Well, I couldn't agree more, Bonafide, and this is a great interview. This is Dr. Joyce Knudsen discussing Bonafide's career with ImageMaker Inc. Media.